Wowza, 2020 sure was a doozy. So much went on, it's sometimes hard to believe it was only 1 year. But we survived, and here we are in 2021. One strange positive in 2020 was the real estate market. The real estate market was strong. It surprised some experts. In the beginning of the pandemic, some experts were saying that they expected home appreciation levels to be low. And one expert even suggested that it would be a negative number. We saw as the year went on that wasn't going to be the case. And well, looking back, we know that didn't happen. So let's take a look back and go over the Ada County December 2020 numbers, as well as review how the year actually went. Hi, I'm Charlotte with Birch & Cedar Realty Group. The Boise Regional Realtors released their stats, so let's take a few minutes to go over them. January sales started strong. January 2020 sales were 21.5% higher than January 2019. It hit our local market with lower sales numbers than normal in February and March. Then, with shutdowns and restrictions, April and May were much slower than our normal spring market. We saw sales actively drop by 19.5% in April and 29.7% in May. Then here comes June, and then in July, the sales climbed to 22% more sales in July 2020 than what we sold in July 2019. And we were off to the races. Sales remained elevated through November. All the pent-up sales in the beginning of the year went kind of crazy, and as BRR puts it, compressed nearly a year's worth of activity into just 6 months. Well, we sold 11,728 new and existing homes, which was 5.2% higher than in 2019. The only year we saw more sales was 11,974 in 2005. What were some major factors that impacted the sales in 2020? First was the low mortgage rate. According to Freddie Mac, the 30-year fixed mortgage was at 3.11% on average in 2020, the lowest ever based on the data going back to 1971. These low rates allowed buyers to still compete and purchase since it actually increased their purchasing power. The second factor was the appreciation in home prices. Incredibly high demand and insufficient supply caused home prices to rise. We saw insufficient supply in all price points and especially for existing homes. Another factor here in the rising home prices is the impact new construction has on pricing. New home sales make up 34.2% of all sales in 2020. Which is up just a bit from 2019. New construction usually costs more than an existing home due to the rising costs for land, labor, and materials. Ada County's new construction median home sales price in 2020 was $424,995 and $375,000 for existing homes, making the combined median home sales price for the market overall $392,230. The average days on market was at 20 days in 2020, and in 2019 it was 42 days. That's 48% lower than in 2019. In October, we hit a record low based on the data going back to 2004. On the last day of December 2020, we had 333 existing and new construction homes available for sale. This was 79.6% lower than December 2019, and a new record low based on that data that's going back to 2004. Keep in mind that this number is a snapshot of the inventory number on a particular day, which is why our homes sold are so much higher than our inventory numbers. So what are some of the reasons that inventory number is so low? Well, remember that historically low mortgage rate I mentioned? There was a huge surge in refinancing that has continued throughout the year. There has also been safety concerns or general uncertainty on how to sell and buy at the same time. I just want to add a little note here that if you've had thoughts of selling, but if either of these reasons are the ones that are holding you back from moving forward, we really need to have a conversation. There are ways that we can handle both of these and get you where you want to be. And doing it now versus the normal spring rush to the market that happens gives you a better chance to get it sold for the most money possible and faster. Keep in mind that a spring rush means more competition. More competition follows the law of supply and demand, meaning that as supply goes up, demand's going to go down, which is going to affect pricing. More homes on the market means more competition for you as a seller, which also likely means less offers. Just think about it and let's have a chat if you have questions. Another thing in regards to inventory, we are seeing that new construction cannot keep up with demand. The demand out there is absorbing all the supply as soon as it becomes available. This has put tremendous demand on builders, and some builders are having to turn buyers away as their current staff and contractors can't take on more projects. So what does all of this mean for 2021? Well, economists continue to say that the Boise metro area will be a market that should continue to see additional growth. The National Association of Realtors lists Boise as one of the top 10 markets that not only showed resilience during the pandemic, but is expected to perform well in a post-COVID-19 environment. This means that we will likely continue to see high demand, and unless we can get some new inventory among both new and existing home markets, we will likely continue to see crazy multiple offer scenarios and see median home sales prices continue to increase at much higher rates than at a national level. Hopefully we'll start to see homeowners list to take advantage of this high demand. Also, if you're an investor that has single-family homes in your portfolio, you should talk to a realtor and a tax professional to understand the possibilities of selling your single-family home rental and diversifying your portfolios into commercial or multifamily homes. There could be some really interesting possibilities there. So if this is you, please reach out and let's have a chat. 2020 was an interesting year, and it sounds like the real estate market in 2021 is likely to continue to be on fire. I hope this was helpful. As always, like, subscribe, and click that little bell. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.